Okay. We're all still on sugar highs from Thanksgiving. We'd like to invite you to join the council in our opening ceremonies. And we have Chaplain Kelly Hall from the Renewal Center Fellowship who will come up and say our prayer. This is the first time that Chaplain has been here, Chaplain Hall, and we're very happy to have you here to do this. And after our invocation, Joe Sikora will lead us in the pledges. Chief Sikora, sorry.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be invited. God, we're all gathered here before you and with you with our hope and heart for Tomball. We are thankful you are always with us, even and especially during this season when we have shorter days and longer nights. We ask that your presence will be known among us as pure love and pure light. We ask for gifts that come from you, inspiration, clarity, and a wholeness of vision. Help us to know our part in Tomball's growth. Help us to put the highest good of the town at the forefront. Lead us towards togetherness and harmony and care for one another by revealing your face in everyone we see. Bless us with your goodness and the honor of carrying your light in this meeting and beyond. Light our path, God. Be everywhere we go. Amen.
Please join me with the pledges to the flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Chaplain Hall and Chief Sikora. Thank you. Now, next item on the agenda is public comments. At this time, anyone will be allowed to speak on any matter other than personnel matters or matters under litigation for a length of time not to exceed 3 minutes. No council board discussion may take place on the matter until such matter has been placed on the agenda and posted in accordance with the law. Is there anyone signed up to speak, Doris? No one. Is there anyone who did not sign up who wants to speak about any issue? Okay, thank you. Presentations. Our first presentation is by Bruce Hilligeist, who introduced our beautiful Miss Tomball for 2023. Okay. Have you got the wave down?
Yeah, wait, there you go. Well, good evening. My name is Bruce Hilligeist, President of the Greater Tomball Area Chamber of Commerce, and I reside at 15300 Cutton Road, apartment 2129 in Houston, 77070. I want to thank Doris Spear for putting the new Miss Tomball and I on tonight's agenda. Kelly just had a great prayer about Tomball and what we who've been here a long time and a short time know to be very special, and just a place to call home, a place to do business and to have friends and family. And when it comes time to celebrate the holidays and the holy days, the birth of Jesus, and the parade comes along and the Miss Tomball pageant comes along, you know that we're getting close to time when we celebrate a good month, February, December. Hey, y'all, Christmas is in December. So the chamber has for 57 years presented the Miss Tomball pageant. And I happen to brought with me, and Miss Tom, this lady has kind of turned the other way around over the years. I just told Annalisa that she's had a rough few years. This is Sue Welburn Cox's This is Sue Everett Cox's award that she received as the first Miss Tomball in 1966. So she was, in November of 1965, she was declared Miss Tomball. And then our own mayor was declared Miss Tomball just a few years ago.
Right.
And, and so the Miss Tomballs have a great reputation. Okay, so Annalise, you've got a great future ahead of you, no doubt. But I appreciate the city council, the mayor taking time each year to allow us to share this part of the chamber legacy of having a Miss Tomball pageant, and to introduce to you a fine young lady that out of 38 contestants this year proved her right to be declared the new Miss Tomball. So I'd like to introduce to you Annalise Garrison, our Miss Tomball 2023, and let her tell you a little bit about herself. Annalise.
Hey y'all, I'm Annalise Garrison. Thank you for having me. I'm 17 years old and a current junior at Tomball Memorial High School. My best friend is my little brother. He's 13 years old and I love him so much, except when I don't, but that's okay. I am on the drill team, the Tomball Memorial Silver Stars, and I serve as a social officer under historian and treasurer. I love my drill team so much. They've taught me absolutely everything that I needed to win this pageant, and I'm so thankful for them. I am also a part of Mu Alpha Theta, which is a math honor society. I'm a huge math nerd. It's my favorite subject. I'm also a part of Best Buddies, and I'm currently working on forming a Taylor Swift club with my friends, but more on that later. I'm so excited to serve as Miss Tomball 2023, and I can't wait to see what this year has in store for me. Thank you for having me.
Annalise, I gotta ask you a question. I'll give you a standing ovation first, and then I need to ask you a question.
Okay.
Okay. As part of those who hasn't been to the pageant, there are several different stages to pick Miss Tomball, and one of them is answering questions that they have no idea what's going to be asked. And so your question was that you can answer now is, if you had met someone who has never been to Tomball, what would you tell them that Tomball is like?
What a wonderful question. If I were to meet somebody who's never been to Tomball, I would describe our community as a community full of servant leaders. Each and every citizen of Tomball seeks every opportunity possible to help serve, but expects nothing in return. We always make close and personal relationships, but we're not even trying. For example, when this community was hit by Hurricane Harvey, my dad took his friend's boat and went to rescue a few friends of ours who had flooded houses. He also rescued some strangers. Well, those strangers aren't so strange anymore. In fact, they sit in the very stands and watch me perform under those Friday night lights. This is my absolute favorite part of Tomball, and I can't wait to serve as a servant leader myself this year. Thank you.
And that question was, she didn't know it was coming, and that was her answer. It was a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Great job. The next presentation is by Al Gerhardt, Tomball Lions Club.
As I like to say, we come bearing gifts.
Name and address.
Yeah. Just want to kind of let you know, in April of 1982, the Tomball Lions Club was formed. This year, we're celebrating 40 years. God has been good to us. The town of Tomball, all of our companies have really been good to us. As of this year, I believe this is going to be the first time that we will ever give an amount of $3,000, $1,500 to the police department and $1,500 to the fire department. So I'm proud to announce that I believe you've already received the check, but we would like to do a presentation tonight and let you know that Tomball Lions Club is here for everyone. And I try to make everyone known. All you have to do is call me if you need help. How about that? So anyway, if we can.
Chief Sikora, Chief. Thank you, Slay.
Okay, Zero, I have to love to have this break. Thank you. Yeah, we'll keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Thank you, buddy.
Reports and announcements. December 9th and 10th is the annual candlelight tour and holiday open house at our Tomball Museum Center. And December 9th through 11th is also the beginning of the German Christmas market at the depot. December 23rd through 26th, city will be closed. January 2nd, city will be closed. So those are the announcements, reports by city staff and members of council. Number one, Chris Lord, report on Deck the Depot.
Valid question. Deck the Depot just occurred on Saturday, December 3rd. It was fantastic. We kind of transformed the depot into North Pole. Headliner was Santa, obviously. And we had a line of little ones that Santa could field their wish lists. And so with that, we also had Christmas music. We had performances from our Just Elves dance group from the community center, as well as Cypress Dance Elite. We kind of put our best foot forward in regards to creating this environment with a giant snow globe to take picture opportunities. And we had the Christmas train ride. We had a ton of people come through. We estimate about 2,000 to 2,200 people through the 4-hour duration of the event. It did help to have trickle over from farmers market, but all in all was a blast. Everyone was cheerful and merry. Even though the weather was a little bit warmer than we expected. So all in all, I think everyone had a great time.
Thank you. All right. Next item is Chief Burt and Chief Sikora report on the success of Holiday Heroes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to give an update, a report on our Holiday Heroes event this year. 3 years ago, when I became chief of police in 2020, and my folks reported that they had normally done about 25 to 27 kids at the Walmart or Shop with a Cop event. And we put our heads together with city management, and Joe Sikora was a huge part of it, and said, "Hey, we think we can do better." And we said, let's shoot for 50 kids. And we got 50 kids that year. And then Joe led the fire department and with Chief Parr at the time, and adopted a family and basically really set the way for us to start adopting families in need around the holiday season, as I reported last year. So last year, instead of 50, we shot for 100, and we served 100 children last year, took each of them on a shopping spree at $300 a year. And this year we just did the same, and we're still rolling out some more for Shop with the, some families we've identified. But this last Saturday, we had the city management, both Jessica and David Esquivel, and their significant others and their kids. We had department heads from several of the different departments. We had a great showing from Public Works. We had HCA Tomball gave us a ton of volunteers. Bruce Holygeist still here with folks that came, and just and then community support, including Spanish speaking high school students. that I snared in with my daughter on, threats of punishment, et cetera. But nonetheless, we had about 75 volunteers and at, what was it, Joe, 97 kids. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you, I mean, like I've heard Bruce talk about his favorite day of the year. This is absolutely, as a chief of police, my favorite day in Tomball. You watch kids that walk in and they look at my wife and they say, I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to just go shopping and never have to, and never be able to do, I've never been able to do this. And then they go and they start shopping for their grandma or their mom or somebody, and then they don't even think about themselves. And it's just, it's so moving. I saw one kid load up a cart and he filled it with food and chokes you up. It still chokes me up a little bit. I didn't rehearse this well enough, but the fact is like we're like, no, we got gift cards for that. We'll figure that out. You go get something else. And I wanted to thank Tomball. Somebody talked about this earlier. I think the Ms. Tomball talked about servant leaders. And I don't know if it's everyone in Tomball, but everyone that day, just tremendous servant leaders. It made me feel small and big all at the same time. So I wanted to thank genuinely the city of Tomball, the volunteers and the people who put this together. Joe?
It's an amazing outpouring of support. Just like she said, and same thing we do every disaster. Everything we see, Tomball is back there behind us and they are giving to us and giving to both of our organizations. And I can't say enough about just the outpouring of support that we receive anytime we ask for it. And to stand there at the checkout line, because unfortunately I had to write a lot of checks that day and use a card, which was fun. But it was heartwarming to see some of the kids, they'd hit the $280 mark and I'd say, hey, go back in there and find something. My mom needs underwear. And would go back in and get something for their mom or their dad or their little brother or little sister. And we were, out of those 97, we actually had 8 that just showed up. One of my kids that I had came in and Jeff had the same thing. They came with siblings that we didn't know about. And we were blessed enough through the donations we received from the city to be able to continue to be giving to those kids, even though we didn't have them on our list. Jeff was highly concerned about it. He goes, right, don't worry, man, we got it.
Yeah.
We've got it. And we still have enough left over to still move on next year and still build upon that and hopefully make it even bigger. But it's that outpouring of support that we got from HCA, from Tomball ISD with the nurses. We had Harris County Sheriff's Department, Waller County Sheriff's Department that were also there. It's not just us here in Tomball. We have people coming from outside of Tomball to help us too. And it is amazing.
I would just add one thing that every child I talked to said unequivocally, they liked police officers more than firefighters.
That was until they walked outside. I did tell them as we're going up, I said, you can get Chick-fil-A, but there's also donuts for the cops inside, but you're welcome to go get them too.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, our next presentation is Catherine Tapscott, Water League Financial Update for 2021-22, preliminary year-end financials.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So these are going to be unaudited financials, just to put that out there, full disclosure, but we do feel very confident that they are very close to the audited financials. So just some highlights. As you probably know, sales tax came in greater than budget and prior year. So it increased compared to prior year by 3 million or 22.5%. And then it exceeded budget by 1.5 million or 9.9%. So it was historical sales tax collections during the fiscal year. For property tax, we collected 101.6%. So everything that we budgeted for property tax was collected. And for expenditures, for the general fund, they were 1.3 million under budget. And for the enterprise fund, they were 710,000 below budget. And that's mostly, there was some delays in equipment materials, some contracts that crossed over fiscal years, and we also had personnel vacancies. So this is just showing the trend of sales tax collections over the past few years. You can see it's growing, and every year we've been above budget with those collections. And property tax collections kind of follow the same logic, just increasing over time. And our actuals exceeded budget each year. Looking at other revenue, so these are just categories of general fund, other revenue. So for permits and licenses, the blue is actuals, the red's budget. So whenever you see the blue bar exceed the red bar, we're good. So every category exceeded except contributions was a slightly less than a budget amount. And the miscellaneous grouping was less than budget because of investments. So due to the quickly rising interest rate environment that we're in, our investments, we had to mark to market. So it was a little bit of a decrease on those investments. General fund expenditures, this shows the different categories of general fund expenditures. The majority is public safety, and we are under budget when it comes to general fund expenditures by 1.3 million. But you'll also, you're good. Later in the agenda, we have the purchase order rollover. So there are items that we had placed the order for, or contracts that we had secured prior fiscal year that are going to be delivered this current fiscal year. So that 1.3 million, some of those unspent funds are going to be spent, rolled over and spent in this current fiscal year. So just keep that in mind. And looking at enterprise fund revenues, that's not my pen. So for revenues for water, sewer, and gas, we exceeded our budget amount, as well as for penalties and miscellaneous. And then on the expenditures, the only grouping that exceeded budget was water, and that was only slightly. And then gas, you'll see that we came in under budget, but that's one of the items that's going to have a purchase order rollover for gas meters. Debt service fund, we were right on target. This is a pretty easy fund to budget for because we know our principal and interest payments. So we're good there, nice and simple. And these are just a few of our special revenue funds that have the most activity. So we have our municipal court, both security and technology, and our hotel occupancy tax. We did come in over budget on our revenues for hotel occupancy tax and under budget on our expenditures. So good news there. I know post-COVID, that fund has been watched, so we're looking good. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Old business, number one, ordinance number 2022-38. There's been a request to take no action and to move this to the agenda for 12/19. So we will not be talking about the ordinance tonight. Next item is to adopt on second reading ordinance number 2022-40. And there's no presentation on that, so I will entertain a motion. Is there any-
Well, it's second reading. I think Doris needs to read it.
Okay,
Ordinance number 2022-40, an ordinance of the city of Tomball, Texas, amending sections 50-116J, site development standards, mobile food courts, chapter 50 zoning of the Tomball Code of Ordinances by revising the standards governing mobile food vendors located within mobile food courts, providing for severability, providing for a penalty of an amount not to exceed $2,000 for each day of violation of any provisions hereof, making findings of fact and providing for other related matters.
okay. I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 2022-40 on second reading.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Call for the vote.
Motion carried unanimously.
Okay. The next item is the new business consent agenda. The items have been listed on 1 through 5 and 1 through 4 is 1 through 5. And if is there any request to remove any of these items off of the new business consent agenda? If not, then I will entertain a motion to approve the new business consent agenda items 1 through 5.
So moved. Second.
Okay, call for the vote.
Motion carried unanimously.
Next item is new business. On the agenda is declare 2 tracts of land located at the intersection of Medical Complex and Huff Smith Corville, consisting of 0.5211 acres and 0.7040 acres of land as surplus lots, and authorize city of staff to proceed with the bidding the tracts of land for sale. So we'll declare, entertain a motion to approve, entertain a motion.
Make the motion to approve.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, call for the vote. Oh, Doris, I'm sorry, you were supposed to present those.
Okay. This is similar to the Brown Road right of way that we bid out and awarded to the Redeemer Church.
Okay,
Motion carries unanimously.
right, the next item on the agenda is an executive session where we will consult with city attorney regarding a matter which attorney's duty requires to be discussed in closed section. The time is 6:30 PM. We'll be going into executive session, and when we come out, we will not have any votes except to adjourn, correct? This is the shortest meeting we've ever had. You're welcome. Not over yet. You're welcome to stay till we come out. If not, see you in 2 weeks. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
You have to call the
Oh,
meeting
sorry.
back to
On executive session. Closed session ended at 6:30 PM. Now, I'd like to call the meeting back, the meeting,
7:30 PM. Call the meeting back into session.
okay. So executive session is in at 7:30. I call the regular session back. City council back into session. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, call for the vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, we are adjourned.